What's up, guys? It's Burt here. I'm here in Greensboro, North Carolina, where I'm not actually from Greensboro, but I'm from North Carolina, and I kind of wanted to do a video where I just kind of take you around and show you a bit of my past, and just kind of go through some of my old places, my old stomping grounds, as you will, whether it's my school, my old house, places I used to remember. You know, I'm doing it just to kind of let you guys know, but also really I'm just doing it for me so I can look back in the years to come. I couldn't have picked a worse day to do this. It is freezing outside. It's about 36. I know some people say, oh, that's nothing. For a southerner like me, it's cold. So let's go drive around, and I'll show you some of where Burt used to hang out. So before I went to college, before I was living in the dorms, way back when I was a kid, the first house, well, take that back, the second house we moved into, the first house in this neighborhood of Deer Chase in Wake Forest, is this house right here at the end of the street. I loved it because we were the house that it was right at the end. You see it from the top of the hill, you drive down, and there it was, off Donner Trail. This is the house that I grew up in and spent the majority of my life living in. It's changed a lot, obviously, over the years, but this is the house that I grew up in. 3300 Donner Trail. A lot of good memories here. I mean, when we first got here, this whole neighborhood was just brand new. There were so many new areas to it. Now, it's different. It's just, look, this cul-de-sac right here, played a lot of street hockey with my friends. We set up a goal here and then one over here, and we'd play a lot of street hockey. It's just crazy to think about this street as the street I used to grow up on. I mean, I used to run up and down this street all day with friends. This is back when you knew all your neighbors. I mean, I knew every single person on this street. And I think there's maybe one or two people from when I used to live here that still live here. Granted, it's been a long time. We moved out of here in 1999. It's been 15 years. We used to run up and down this street. We used to play soccer. We used to play football. Me and my friends used to make jackass videos. We'd do stupid stuff where we'd run into mailboxes and whatnot. The lights were just, during Christmas time, when everybody was decorated, was just no one compared to it. I mean, it's the best I'd ever seen. Everybody participated. I mean, everybody's family grew up here on this street. And I guess, you know, when you got old enough, then they move out or move on to either a bigger house or a smaller house. But this house right here was the first house that I consider that I grew up in. I lived in one other house that I lived there for about 5 years, but I lived here from 6 years old until about, let's see, I think I was 16, so I lived there for about 10 years. It's a great house. I miss it. I miss North Carolina. I miss Wake Forest. A lot has changed, but I'm glad that I'm able to ride through here and just kind of see everything how it used to be. So now, what I'm going to take you to is I'm going to take you to the other house, which, conveniently enough, when we moved out of this house, we moved to another house that was literally on the opposite side of the neighborhood. So that made moving a lot easier. We did a lot of moving ourselves. We loaded up on my dad's trailer, and we would drive, just make like 10 to 15 trips a day. So the only stuff that we really couldn't move was and we hired the moving company, was these big, huge furniture pieces. I think we had a pool table we had to move, some other things. So we literally moved across the neighborhood, and the reason that they liked that house so much was because it had a pool. It was a great house for entertaining. We had a lot of birthday parties there, a lot of pool parties. It was great. Another thing I miss about this neighborhood in Deer Chase is you don't see a lot of this, which I'll show you. You don't see a lot of kids walking the street, or neighbors outside. Back when I was here, I used to see neighbors out all the time, kids riding their bikes, people out playing, having a good time. You just don't see that anymore. Maybe that's just because the neighborhood that I've been relocated to, but you just don't see it as much anymore. Well, when I said we moved across to the other side of the neighborhood, this is the house that we moved into. On a private street. A lot has changed about this house. We used to keep this house in tip-top shape. It doesn't look that way anymore. In the backyard we had a pool, a pool house, an extended garage out in the back where we didn't really park cars, but you could park, you could put riding lawnmowers, you could store stuff. It had like a walk-up attic. This yard was a lot to maintain, but a lot of good memories here as well too. A lot of good parties. We used to actually have shrubs that lined here. We used to scratch our cars on all the time, and I guess these people got tired of dealing with that, so they ripped them all up. There was only a couple neighbors on this street, but overall it was a good house. It was a lot of yard work and a lot of things to maintain, but a great house nonetheless. 3409. Yeah, they haven't really kept up this house at all. It does not look the same.